Welcome back to another episode of Life Without Struggle. My name is Erin Lindauer, and today this topic is a good one for you. Okay, so this topic is libido after 40, and it's not gone. Okay, ladies. So we're going to dive into a conversation that unfortunately, I have this conversation more times, and it needs to be talked about. So today we're going to talk about something for women over 40 that you whisper about or you don't really talk about. You rarely say this stuff out loud, and it's talking about your libido or the lack thereof. And if you're a woman listening to this thinking, something has changed with my body, I love my partner, but I just don't feel the same desire that I used to. First off, you're not alone, okay? So this is one of the most common conversations I have with women in their 40s. And the first thing I want you to know is you're absolutely not broken, okay? You're not defective, there isn't something wrong, and this isn't just what happens when you get older, okay? But it's a signal, and it's something that we need to listen to and understand that your body's trying to tell you something, because libido just isn't about sex. It's about energy, it's about hormones, it's about your stress level, confidence, and how you connect and feel to your body, okay? And here's the truth that most people will not say out loud is you're exhausted, you're inflamed, you're stressed, you're running on 4+ cups of coffee, an energy drink, maybe 5 hours of sleep, and you don't love who you see in the mirror. And so naturally, you are not turned on all the time. Like, let's just be real, okay? Your body is not prioritizing a desire when it's in survival. And I can only speak on this because I have been there myself for multiple years thinking it was normal, and it's not, okay? And the most frustrating part is most women just think this is a hormone thing. Oh, my hormones are off. Okay, the hormones matter. I don't want to ever say that they don't, but it's not an isolated hormone problem. You don't just inject or take testosterone and all of a sudden we're just, on fire now all the time. This is more about your lifestyle. It's your muscle mass, it's your stress level, it's your sleep, it's your nutrition, how you feel in your own skin, right? Like, nothing earth shattering, but I want to dive into this because all of these things influence your libido. And when women start getting strong, balancing your hormones naturally, regulating your stress, and you feel confident in your body again, something amazing happens, okay? Your energy comes back, your confidence comes back, and very, very often, your libido comes back too. So today we're going to talk about why this happens, what's actually going on physiologically and psychologically, okay? And how women can reclaim this part of themselves instead of just assuming this is it. It's gone forever. Oh, this is just part of aging. I think it's just so dissatisfying to hear women all the time just chalk it up where, yeah, it's a hormone thing. And yes, sometimes some HRT is absolutely helpful. I hands down would never tell a woman not to get her labs checked out and work with a competent provider. But so many women are missing the foundational things that you have to do in order to support everything together. So the libido is dropping, you're feeling disconnected from your body, you're avoiding intimacy like the plague. You love your spouse, but you just don't feel the desire. This is not normal, okay? And I want to help you understand so that you can actually do something about it. So let's talk about physiologically what is actually going on, because the hormones are shifting. If you're in this perimenopause, menopause space, which I know all of my listeners are, okay, listen, perimenopause is this space about mid 30s till then we get into menopause. It is just a time and space, okay? It's nothing more than that. And yes, what it means is your hormones have fluctuated, and then all menopause technically means, from a definition, is menses has stopped, or your menstrual cycle, your period has stopped, okay, for an entire year. Okay, that's all it means. These are just words that define the time and space, okay? So what is happening? Your estrogen fluctuates, hands down, okay? Progesterone drops, testosterone declines, cortisol is through the roof. So what does this cause? It causes your brain fatigue. It causes your just vaginal dryness. It causes mood shifts, decreased, just you don't have that spark. You don't just have that desire. And so libido is energy dependent. If you are exhausted, if you're inflamed, your body is in survival mode, not reproduction mode. So a stressed, sleep deprived, under muscled body does not prioritize sex. Okay, so let's dive into the psychology, because yes, we can blame hormones, okay? But a huge piece of this is your confidence. This is where I want to get very, very powerful and very in your face, okay? When a woman doesn't like what she sees in the mirror, when she feels soft and inflamed all the time, when you're always bloated, I cannot tell you how many women all the time, I'm bloated, I'm bloated, I'm bloated, I'm bloated. Well, okay, that's not normal. When you feel this disconnection, you withdraw. I can only speak on this because I had the same thing. When I looked in the mirror, I was gone. When I looked at my eyes, no spark. I was exhausted, tired, running a business, 2 young kids, just inflamed. And it wasn't until I got some detailed labs that I was like, dang, no wonder I don't feel good. Like, this is pretty whack, okay? My cortisol was through the roof. And so I want to call out, this isn't because you don't love your partner. If anything, I find in this 40s, 50s, 60s space, we love our partner even more, but we feel this disconnect with ourself. It's not them, it's actually us, okay? So when we don't feel good about ourselves, we are not going to initiate. When we're tired and exhausted all the time, when we're running ourselves ragged, when we're inflamed, hormones are already going up and down, you close off. You just want to go to bed, right? Like, just, yeah, don't touch me. Like, I definitely remember just this, like, nah, like, I'm over here. You stay over there. That's your side. Here's a pillow. Create a little barrier. So it's hard to feel sexy when you don't feel strong, okay? And I don't mean strong as in lifting weight, just strong in life, in confidence, in you as a person. So confidence will change your posture, okay? You stand with your chest out more. You're more open, okay? Muscles will change your body composition and your confidence. Strength will change your identity. Today I bench pressed in the gym, and I will tell you, nothing feels better than repping out some bench press, because hands down, that was a movement that I hated. I was so weak. I could barely do the bar. And today I threw up 100 like it was my job. It kind of is my job. But it was great and it felt good. And that feeling of capability is going to increase your desire. When you feel strong, sexy, confident, you are on fire. You will want sex more. You'll have more drive. So let's talk into this stress cortisol factor, because especially for my high achieving women, you've got no shortage of priorities. Okay. Again, I can only speak on this because personally, I'm in that space too. So if you are getting after it in your career, if you got kids, you travel, you're potentially overtraining, especially for my women telling me I work out 5-6 days a week, if you're constantly calorie restricting, if you're not sleeping, okay, this message is for you. Because what this is doing, this is creating chronic stress. And chronic stress is going to suppress your testosterone, your desire, your relaxation. When I had my labs done almost exactly a year ago, a little over a year ago, I had no hormones, nothing even registered. Like I was in menopause, but had no hormones. Like, can you imagine getting your blood work and everything is like so low, you don't even register? And I remember just not feeling ever like wanting it, initiating it, to the point that it actually did cause a riff. And it's a fair thing. I mean, I understand this. And so it was just one of those things where libido requires this amount of energy and safety. And if your nervous system is constantly on this high alert, your body will not prioritize intimacy. You're worried about the bills getting paid, you're worried about the kids in school, you're worried about the business, the obligations at work. And when you're in this constant fight or flight, there's no way that your body's going to be like, hey, honey, let's just put that all aside and here we go. That's not going to happen, okay? So how can we get in shape and actually see this change? So I want to get really detailed here because I want you to understand the science behind this, because it's cool to throw around some buzzwords, etc., but it's another thing for you to actually understand what's going on with your body. For me, I'm very much, when I understand things, then okay, cool. I am willing to do the work if I understand how this is gonna all come full circle. So let's specifically talk about strength training. So strength training will naturally increase your testosterone. So more muscle on your body will create more testosterone. You will improve your insulin sensitivity, okay? So blood sugar regulation, also how your body utilizes fuel. You'll also reduce inflammation with strength training, okay? You'll increase your blood flow and you will increase your mood. There's so much of a good workout that we get that endorphin, we get that high. I know personally, if I don't get that workout in, like, man, I miss that. It's just like how I start my day. It's how it makes me feel. And then let's dive into the nutritional side of things, specifically protein. You know, I'm over here along with like half the rest of the fitness, health, whatever gurus out there, is you got to eat protein. But why? Well, it stabilizes your energy. It supports your muscle. It reduces cravings and inflammation. Okay? What else? Sleep. So when you sleep, you directly affect your hormone balance. Okay? This impacts your libido like 10 times. Okay? So if you are tired, running on E, and not sleeping, first off, your hormones are going to be all over the place. And there's no way in hell you're going to desire sex, because we don't have enough energy the way it is. Why would I put out more energy? Okay. So let's speak about stress. When we regulate our stress, okay, when we pull down our inflammation, we lower cortisol. This improves all of our hormone signaling. For me, this was hands down one of the most important things I did, was really, really focus on my stress. We knew what we were doing and how we were operating from how we ran our business prior. We couldn't keep doing it. We were not 20s and 30s anymore, and our body needed something different. We couldn't keep lifting and moving plates and training clients, and it just was such a physical job that we no longer could do it. I couldn't do, the waking up at 4:30 in the morning, getting to the gym by 5:30, shutting down the gym by 7, 8 o'clock at night. Like, I just couldn't keep that up anymore. So when you sleep and you regulate your stress, when you say less is more, it's amazing how the body beautifully responds. So when you balance your hormones naturally, you build muscle. Libido will improve as a byproduct. So I want to speak into the intimacy and the identity piece, because I want to elevate women that are listening to this message. When you go on this health journey with yourself, you keep promises to yourself. When you see results, when you are lifting, you're consistent in the gym, you are disciplined. You keep a promise to yourself because you said, you know what, I'm important too. When you feel strong, there's nothing that replaces feeling strong, okay? I always joke, I want to be able to carry all my groceries in one swoop. Like, for me, that's winning, okay? But when you feel this discipline of like, I go to the gym, I take care of myself, even though it's not convenient, even though, I've got 50,000 other things going on, even though whatever, right? This is where you build confidence. You sit there, you do rep after rep, and you go, dang, I really didn't feel like doing this today, but you know what? I did it. Done. Check. So you will carry yourself differently when you give yourself the time and space to feel better in your own skin because you're doing the things. So you're going to initiate sex more when you feel good. Hands down, I know that a lot of women enjoy, the lust of it, meaning when they come to us, right? It feels good because they're desiring you. But I think there's even something more sexy when you turn that back on them. And how many times do we? I know for myself, I never did, ever. And there was just a whole lot to that, but it was really how I felt about myself. Also, when you feel good about you, you're going to communicate better. Okay, I know that hands down, we've had amazing conversations just around everything in life, but also sex and the importance of it and why it's important to each other. And you almost feel playful again. You feel alive. Like there's such a special bond between a husband and wife, partners, that you just, I don't know, when you feel good in your own skin, you just tick differently. So desire often returns when your own self-trust returns. So let's talk into this just a little bit deeper, okay? Because you guys are probably like, oh shit, Erin keeps going on this. So here's the deal. Long-term marriages can slip into this roommate energy. Hands down, definitely have been there. You lose like almost the novelty of it or the intentionality. But when one partner levels up physically and emotionally, your energy shifts. So you don't fix libido with lingerie. Now, sure, maybe that's your thing, whatever, but you fix it with your vitality of how you feel. So this really isn't about you being, I don't even want to say this, but I'm going to say it, like a sex object. This isn't about performance. This isn't about pressure. This is about when you feel alive in your own skin, when you feel strong, sexy, confident, connected, okay? That's what I'm speaking about here today. So I want to call you up. If you've been feeling disconnected from your body, if your libido has dropped, if you don't feel sexy and confident, this is not your permanent reality. Your body will respond when you build muscle, regulate stress, sleep deeper, eat more intentionally, raise your standards. Libido is not something you chase. It's something that returns when you feel safe, when you feel strong, when you feel supported. I hope this one hit. And if anybody feels triggered or called out with this, hands down, I have talked to so many women over these past few weeks, months, let alone this past year, that I know this topic is going to hit home. Take care of you. You will never regret it. And then get proper labs if you're doing all these things. Now, a lot of women tell me they're doing these things, and I'm just going to be real with you. You're not doing all these things. But then get the labs to support and get a competent doctor to help you understand if HRT is appropriate for you personally, because for a lot of women, it can be wildly helpful. All right, ladies, go get them.